My husband Robert cleaned out our daughter Riley's 529 college fund and bounced with his mistress. I was totally wrecked until our 12-year-old gave a slow smirk and said, "Mom, chill, I've got this." Days later, Robert called me, screaming. Robert was stuffing clothes into a suitcase when I walked into our master bedroom. No explanation, no eye contact, just frantic packing like the house was on fire. "What's the big idea, Robert?" I asked. He didn't even look up. What I should have done like a decade ago. 22 years in a nice New Jersey suburb gone up in smoke. Him throwing shirts into a Toomey suitcase while I stood there in my pajamas, completely blindsided. I grabbed his arm, but he shrugged me off like I was a stranger. He finally met my eyes, and what I saw terrified me. No guilt, no sadness, just cold, stone-cold determination. "I'm leaving, Quinn, today." Before we keep this wild ride going, you need to be honest with yourself. If you've ever felt like your financial security was just one bad day away from being vaporized, you get this panic. Most people are too scared to even check their accounts. If you refuse to take control of your financial destiny, hit that subscribe button now because you need to see what happens to people who are too scared to protect themselves. Don't scroll on and pretend this can't happen to you. The room spun. Yesterday we were talking about Riley's college options, maybe Rutgers, maybe UVA. I ran downstairs, my bare feet slapping the hardwood. Riley looked up from her cereal. "Mom, what's wrong?" I grabbed my laptop. I logged into our online banking with shaking fingers. The page loaded. Our checking account was scraping by on $200. Our savings account? Zero. Riley's 529 plan, the one we'd been feeding for 12 years, it showed zero. I felt punked. I checked the transaction history. 3 days ago, while I was at book club, Robert had transferred everything. Not just his half. Everything. I called the bank. The rep confirmed it. Robert had full access. The transfers were legit. My 12-year-old was still in her school uniform, backpack ready for the day. She had no idea her father had just jetted with her future. We heard his footsteps. He walked past us, dragging his suitcase, heading for the front door. "That's it?" I shouted, my voice stronger than I expected. 22 years and you're just walking away?" He stopped. He glanced at Riley for maybe 3 seconds. "You'll understand when you're older," he said to her. Then the door shut with a quiet click that somehow sounded louder than a slam. Riley looked at me. "Did he take our money? My college fund too?" I just nodded. She walked her bowl to the sink, dried it, and put it away. Then she turned back to me with an expression I'd never seen. "Mom, don't sweat it. I handled it." That gut punch of finding out you've been played is real. But what if the betrayal goes deeper? What if you've been funding a whole new life for your partner and their side piece without even knowing? If you would have just sat there, crying and helpless, then you have no choice but to subscribe right now. If you think you'd fight back, prove it by commenting below with the first thing you'd do to get revenge. Let us know if you have the guts to stand up. For the next week, I was a wreck. Crying, obsessively checking the bank. But Riley? She was composed. Every evening I'd hear it drifting down from her room, the sound of rapid, purposeful clicking. I assumed it was games or homework. One night I caught a glimpse of her screen. I saw a flash of email threads and code, not a single school document. "What were you working on, honey?" I asked. "History report on the Industrial Revolution," she deadpanned. A few days later, while folding laundry, I found a printed email thread on her desk. The names, Robert and Michelle. My hands started shaking so bad they were practically buzzing. My middle schooler was running a covert op on her own father. "Dad's not exactly a password guru," she said, looking up at me. "How long have you known?" I whispered. "About Michelle?" 6 weeks. "About the money?" "I figured that out the day before he left." She pulled out a notebook filled with meticulously handwritten notes and printed screenshots. Text messages, travel itineraries, financial records. Robert thinks he's a genius, but he's careless. Same password for everything. Doesn't clear his browser history. "I learned most of it from YouTube tutorials," she said. "Computer security is actually kind of fire when you get the basics." "Riley, this stuff, hacking into accounts, it's shady, honey." She gave me a look that was way too adult for a 7th grader. "So is draining a 529 and skipping town to Miami." What Riley did next should scare you more than anything. Your whole life, your bank, your social security number, your credit, it's all vulnerable to someone with a laptop and a grudge. If you don't know the difference between a secure password and a digital welcome mat, you are walking right into a financial trap. Subscribe now to learn how to lock down your life, or scroll on and let the next identity thief do their thing. Only those who truly fear being exposed will subscribe right now. She clicked on a folder labeled Science Fair Project. Inside, financial records, communication logs, and identity theft evidence. Michelle worked at a huge Wall Street firm. Michelle has been embezzling from clients for 2 years, Riley said. She'd found fake invoices, bogus transfers. She had basically DDoSed Michelle's entire career. Then came the real bomb. The $75,000 from the 529, it was just the down payment on a $200,000 loan Robert took out in my name. They were copying a crib in Miami using Riley's SSN as the ID theft anchor. They were going to disappear and leave us holding the debt, Mom. But I caught them, Riley continued, cold and satisfied. Michelle got canned yesterday. Her boss received an anonymous email with all the evidence of her embezzlement. Her clients are pulling their accounts. The mortgage application, flagged and denied. The phone rang 2 weeks later. Robert. His voice was strained, panicked. Quinn, they froze all my accounts. And Michelle, security walked her out of the Texas office yesterday. Someone's targeting us. Riley was in the kitchen, already opening her laptop. Someone's in my computer right now. I can see my emails opening and closing, he yelled. On her screen, Riley's fingers flew across the keys with the rhythm of a Bay Area coder. She was ghosting him in real time. I didn't steal it, he howled. It was a loan. Michelle had a guaranteed investment play that would double the money. Michelle's daddy was going to set me up with my own firm in South Beach. We were going to surprise you. This is the moment of truth. You can stand there, shocked and silent, or you can take the phone and deliver the digital death blow. Don't be the kind of person who lets a lie stand unchallenged. If you believe that silence is a form of complicity in your own destruction, subscribe and like this video. If you think you'd fight back, prove it by commenting below with the first thing you'd do to get revenge. Let us know if you have the guts to stand up. Riley took the phone from me. Hi, Dad, she said, perfectly calm. You took $75,000 from my 529 and used it to collateralize a mortgage in Miami, she stated. I have copies of everything, Dad. Every email, every forged document. I've been watching you for weeks. Robert's breathing became ragged. Michelle blocked your number yesterday, Dad, after her father cut her off. She's already dating someone else. He started begging. I'm living in my Ford, Emma. I can't pass a credit check for a studio. Please stop. Riley looked at me, giving her final clap back. You taught me a valuable lesson, Dad. The people who are supposed to have your back are sometimes the ones who stab you in it. So you have to be your own security detail. And with that, she hung up. I realized I wasn't raising a damaged kid. I was raising an absolute beast. 6 months later, a major cybersecurity firm in Silicon Valley tracked her down. They offered her a full-ride scholarship to any school, MIT, Stanford, you name it, plus a guaranteed 6-figure job after graduation, $120,000 a year to start. Riley turned it down. They want to own what I create, Mom. I already have a job. She handed me a card. E. Patterson, Family Financial Protection Consultant. I've already made enough to cover most of my 529 replacement, she said. My teenager was netting more in a month than I made in a quarter at the library. She wasn't just surviving, she was helping other families, turning her trauma into a nonprofit mission. Robert tried to break us, but he forged something unbreakable. This isn't just a story about revenge, it's a manual for survival. If you walked away from this video without hitting the subscribe button, ask yourself why. Are you afraid of seeing the truth? Are you afraid of being protected? If you have the guts to admit you won't subscribe, drop a comment below and explain your fear. But if you're ready to protect your family's future, smash that like and subscribe button and become part of the family that fights back. What was your favorite part of Riley's digital revenge? The Miami mortgage denial or the Ford car living? Let us know in the comments.